you check the children. Show a little match sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes. That is what
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Robert Wolfman.
And we are back to continue our Fantastic Fest coverage from 2025. We have been approved to cover whatever films that we're allowed to, that they're actually releasing for remote coverage. So thank you to Fantastic Fest for allowing us to do this. We've already reviewed Coyotes so far. If you want to see our thoughts on that, go check out that review. But we are here to talk about one that I'm very excited to talk about. And just to lay a little bit of groundwork, this is one when I originally looked at the breakdown of the films that were going to be available, and I was trying to decide which ones I wanted to try and watch to review. I looked at this and I was like, this could be good, but it's not really, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it'd be that interesting. And then it was the first email that I got was about it, like, hey, if you're interested to watch this after being approved. I was like, and I messaged the group chat and I asked if anyone would be interested, and Robert said, yeah, that sounds good. And I was like, okay, cool. So basically, we're here to talk about Silver Screamers. And this movie, I'm going to give you the summary before I give you the overall thoughts, because I think that's necessary.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So the summary for this is, it's a documentary about a filmmaker gathering a group of elderly folks of all different ages, but all over like 65 or 70 even. And he has them make a horror movie, a short film. Yep. And it's funny because none of them seem to be fans of the genre at all. And yet they all decide to take part in this. And so they are followed. Each one of these older people, I don't know how I'm going to be able to refer to them without sounding that way. Okay, I guess.
Elderly?
Each of these elderly folks are assigned a production job, like there's Anthony on props, there's Audrey on sound, a lot of different people.
Yeah. Sonny the cameraman.
Yep. And of course they're guided by like an actual kind of crew of this director.
Yeah.
And so that's the long and short of the movie. And they make this short film, and then they have the premiere by the end. And we don't want to spoil how everything turns out, but I will say that my overall thoughts on this are I'm extremely glad that we watched it. Within the first about 10 minutes, we both, because he was having the same reaction as me, I could tell that I was going to really enjoy this ride, because when I first read the description initially and thought it wasn't maybe that interesting, I didn't think deeply enough about what the film would be doing. There's only one questionable sort of aspect to it, which I'll touch on at one point, but it's such a minor thing that it doesn't even matter, because ultimately the end product is worth that little thing. So like I said, I'll get to it, but this movie, and I even told Robert as we started it, I was like, I really hope at the end I can say this, and I can say this, that this movie about people in the very back portion of their lives making a horror movie when they don't like horror is one of the most life-affirming movies that I've been able to watch in recent years. Like, it sounds so weird to say, but it was, frankly, portions of this movie were like beautiful, and like I just really loved it, and I'm excited to explain why. So Robert, your overall thoughts?
Yes, I absolutely loved this. And it was like Cecil had said earlier, it was right within that first 10 minutes, especially when we first started getting introduced to our crew, basically you want to call them, and how that they were introducing them, of basically giving almost like a short little life story and letting them tell themselves. I was immediately hooked. And then not to mention, like, just them as people, like, seem like some of the sweetest people. Audrey especially is she 96
years old.
96, and she is cute as a button. Yeah, and then you got Sonny. He was cracking me up with his kind of like semi-seriousness.
So dry, but sexy humor.
Yeah, it was great. And like the cool thing is, like, everyone that they picked for to participate in this movie, they had some sort of background, whether it was even just photography, you know, like Sunny. Audrey was she used to do I think it was like theater, audio stuff, and everything. And different people like had
the special effects guy was a puppeteer when he was a kid.
Yeah,
and he was able to bring those skills to the table and stuff. So yeah.
So yeah, we had like artists and everything, like painters and things like that. Like it was so cool to see each different person from completely different backgrounds again come together and make a movie that they first off never thought that they would ever do, and were never fans of. And I gotta say, like, they did a damn good job. Yeah. And there were especially some times with when they started getting really into like some of the people's like reasonings and the backstories of why they wanted to do this. There were some big frogs in my throat.
Yeah, honestly, the tears rolled a couple times for me. One, like, it's so weird because like I just wanted to tell a little bit about it, and like my eyes started getting hot immediately. But there's one of the ladies has again, like Robert said, one of the ladies has a history in performing years ago, and her husband was like her biggest cheerleader, and like he's not around anymore. And what was really beautiful about this was every one of the crew's reasoning for being there, because again, it's hilarious. The movie starts with the crew going to a bunch of different retirement homes, and one of the staff there just gathers the people up and just reads this note, like, "Are you looking to have an adventure?" And
so
like,
good.
"Do you love, blood and guts and stuff like that?" And like, they weren't getting anyone, so they had to alter the letters. Like, "Are you looking for fun and adventure?" Like, it's like, so like that whole process is really fun.
Yeah, they were scaring off the old people with their gory description of the horror movie that they wanted to do.
Which, by the way, the horror movie is called The Rug. It's about a carnivorous rug and that an old lady picks up and brings into her home.
Uses to get rid of her problems.
Well, I mean, because she's also terrorized by it. So
well, it is and everything. But that's the nice thing too, is like they did explain and everything that reasoning of her mentality of and the elder thing of like, oh, our secrets just get swept under the rug kind of thing.
Right. So yeah, they all have reasons for being there, and by the end when they all talk about the experience, how they all like adored it, and like at one point one says like we don't have much right now, and like this is something not just is more than something to do, but even just that like was enough to like kind of make you sad about it and stuff, but still make you so happy that they get to do this, and that it's a good experience for them, and that it comes out looking cool, and like that they were expecting like maybe 10 or 20 people to show up to the premiere,
and they had a full theater.
It's just cool. It was so beautiful. Like it's it's tough to talk about documentaries without spoiling some aspects, but this is why it's so good. Now, I do want to mention just briefly the one questionable thing I had. Early on, the filmmaker says that getting financing for films right now is tough. He's made a couple of low budget things in the past. I at least I am assuming that based on this that we just watched. But he says, but I did some research, and there's like a grant that you can get if it is helping, like it's a special thing that's available that he only found because of the research he did, where it's like if you're doing something for the elderly, like getting them up and out and moving around, then they will provide money for you to do that. And so like this was his way to finance this short film, but also to make this larger film, this documentary about the whole thing, which at first I'm like, man, you couldn't get funding, so you're like, at first it hit me like you're exploiting the elderly to make your next movie.
No,
but again, within 10 minutes, I was like, oh, this is way more than that.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Or at least even if it started as that, it became way more than that almost immediately.
That's true, because it became, like, yes, it was a behind the scenes of, making like the short film, but also it was life stories.
Yeah.
And that was I think the the biggest part of the movie is our crew / characters' life stories and those moments of kind of you get because they actually show you old their old photos of them young, and it was pretty crazy, and it was really cool to see, and just even being strangers, it was still really cool to be able to have those old memories shared, and you could see, especially with like some of them, like when they were reminiscing, they had like you could see that little twinkle in the eye of just they were thinking about those old days of when they were young, and it was really fucking cool to see. It's really cool.
It's beautiful because, like you were just kind of alluding to, one of the things that we really, as soon as they started telling the stories of the crew, we're like, oh, this is so great, because like just because they decided to take a swing, and just take a chance on doing this, now their stories get to be immortalized.
Yep.
Like everyone in this world just wants a couple of things: to love, to be loved, and ultimately to be remembered as long as possible. And like this is now they're immortalized forever in a film, a great documentary,
absolutely,
that people can go back to as long as the horror genre and old people exist. This is something that people can go back to and appreciate.
Yeah.
So I highly commend the filmmakers, and I highly recommend this to anyone. I hope, and would be very frankly surprised if they didn't get some sort of distribution off of this.
I really hope that they do.
Off of Fantastic
I
Fest.
would like to actually this would be one I would like to put in my collection,
I agree.
and I would like to revisit this again to watch.
Yeah.
And I would like, and again, if you guys get a chance to see this, highly recommend it. Hopefully you won't be disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah, and for anyone that's curious why it's called Silver Screamers, it's a number of different puns. The silver screen is what movies are often referred to.
Silver hair, they're old.
Silver hair. I mean, technically, if there's a lost old person, it's called a silver alert.
That too.
So, like, yeah, there's a lot of different reasons, but it's cool. It's a really good movie, and I highly recommend it to you guys. So once again, thank you to Fantastic Fest for allowing us to cover these films. We still have at least 7 or 8 more that I already have links to, and another 5 or 6 that I'm hopeful we'll still get links to, including Deathstalker. Hopefully that'll come through. But yeah, guys, so stay tuned. We'll be back with more Fantastic Fest coverage in the not too distant future. Keep your eyes out for Silver Screamers. Make sure you watch it when you get a chance. And thank you for watching, especially if you've watched up to this point. Thank you to our patrons for supporting the channel the way that you do. Until next time, though, I've been Cecil Laird.
Robert Wolfman.
And remember, stay scared.